All right, well, it's the start of a new year, and I thought that we might spruce this place up a little bit. My idea is to write a piece of intro music for the channel. So I started thinking about it this morning, what I wanted this intro music to say. Well, we typically are writing film music or classical-based music, so I thought that our intro should reflect that. One of the ideas also that I have for this is to really write things that I personally love. So let's just dive right in. I've got our piano roll up here and we'll be able to see the chords that I'm playing. I'm going to start with the harmonies for this because I really do love harmony. So let's just dive right in. So I think I will start this piece with a sound that I really love, the major 7 sharp 5, this sound. Here we have a C major 7 sharp 5. Such a nice, ambiguous, kind of floaty sound. I really love this sound. So that'll be our kind of one chord here. This is what we'll start with. Now typically, say I was working on one of the superhero shows or something I worked with, you might start with the one major chord and then go to something called a chromatic median, which is a chord that's either a minor or major third away that has alterations of notes that don't fit the C major scale from the one chord. So you might go to, say, A flat major. So you get this kind of sound. Very typical type of sound that I'd use in a superhero show. So what I might do here is keep that idea of the chromatic medians because it really does fit into the whole film scoring idea. So let's start with our chord here. And then we'll go to that same A flat chord that had the chromatic median relationship to our C major chord and just see how those two chords work together. I'm playing this with a little bit more sophisticated voicing. Let's just listen to those two together. I really like that, and I like having that sharp 11 on this A flat major 7 chord. So let's keep that idea of moving our chord by some sort of third here, and this time I'm going to let's use a major chord. We'll go down a minor third to the F major chord. This is a voicing I love on F major. I'm going to put the C in the bass. You'll notice that I've left out the major 7. That's a beautiful sound too, but there's something I just love about leaving that out. This sound is just so gorgeous. So I think that's a nice progression so far. We've got C major 7 sharp 5 to our A flat major 7 with the sharp 11, and then this voicing that I really love of our F major, add to sharp 11. Now normally if I was writing this piano sketch, I'd be just scratching those chords down on a piece of paper so I had them, because sometimes when you're trying out different ideas, you forget which one you liked or where you were. So that's a good thing to do, is just have a little piece of notepaper to scratch down the chords. Now luckily I have this recording so I can always look back at that. Okay, so we're going from this F voicing that we like, and we've really only got one chord more to get back to our home, which is either going to be that C major 7 sharp 5 or possibly go back to just a C major chord. So one way we can get back there is we could play some sort of D flat 7 chord. This D flat 7, flat 9, sharp 11. It's a little jazzy, but that could work. Going back to C or to this. The C major 7 sharp 5. All right, let's try that F again. We've got that F voicing that we like. We could simply just go to some sort of B flat sound here. This is really B flat. Well, we've got to have the D in there. B flat major 13 sharp 11. and then go back to C, and I'd probably voice it differently. I'd voice it like this. This big, rich bottom. Isn't it amazing how this is the same notes that are in this voicing, but it sounds so much different, so much more lush. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take those chords and put them into some sort of harmonic rhythm, and then we'll come back and write a melody over the top of them. I've entered the chords into the piano part, and you can see that I've pretty much maintained the voicings that I played. I just want to document those because they sound good in the piano. Of course, we're going to orchestrate this, so things may change. One chord that I waffled on, I went back and forth here between that B flat major chord there that we tried, and we tried a D flat 7 chord with some tensions. In the end, I ended up with this D flat major 7 chord. I think that kind of had the best of both worlds, and I really like how that works with this. I'll probably put a sharp 11 on that chord just as I have on this A flat major 7 sharp 11 and this F with the sharp 11. The harmonic rhythm is 4 beats, 4 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, and then 4 beats tied to another 4 beats with a hold. And I'll just let that hold last as long as I need to, fade it out as I come in and talk over it. So this whole thing won't last more than 10 seconds. That's kind of the idea. It's got to be short as an intro. Let's just listen to that. I think the intro music is off to a really nice start with this chord progression. It's got a lot of interest to it. We start with this C major 7 sharp 5. That gives it that ambiguous floaty feel. And then we move down by some sort of third with that chromatic median idea to get us back home. So if we were to play all these chords in root position, we've got a C in the bass, then we move down a major third to the A flat, then a minor third to the F, then a major third to the D flat, and then finally down a half step to bring us home to the C. And you'll notice on the C chord, I decided to just use a C triad instead of the C major 7 sharp 5. And that's because I want a feeling of resolution and home here. I'll be talking over this as it fades out to start the video. All right, let's write a melody to this. Now I think the melody should be quite simple, something memorable. I don't want a lot of movement in it because I want the movement to be in the orchestration. So let's try some possibilities for the melody here. I'll bring up the piano roll so you can see what I'm playing. I want to use mostly chord tones in this melody. Our chords are already somewhat unusual, so I really want to stick to chord tones to really drive home the sound of those chords. So the important note in this C major 7 sharp 5 is obviously the sharp 5, that G sharp. So I definitely want to have that in the melody in this first thing. So we could do something like a... And, you know, I could have the major 7th too, so it could be like... And then going to the A flat here, we could go to this major 7. So, yeah, that melody's kind of nice. Very nice. We could go down to the C here. So it could be... I'm resting on the first beat. So if we were to hear this melody against these chords, and I'll just play the bass notes in root position, it would sound like this. Yeah, I think that's a really nice melody. All right, let's write that in. And then to finish this off, it's a very short melody, so I really need to mirror what I've done here. That repetition will pull it together. So I rested for a beat and then jumped up a fifth. The note that I want to play against this D flat major chord is the G natural, which would be the sharp 11, which I want to add into this chord. So if I rest a beat here and then put a C on the downbeat as a quarter note, I'll jump up to that G natural, which is the sharp 11 that I want. And then I can just come back down by a step to the F, and that leads me beautifully right to this E. Oh yeah, I think that's a really nice melody. All right, that is going to work. Let's listen to that. All right, well, I think that's going to be the melody. No need to try anything else. This has that mix of film score and classical music that I was after. So I'm really pleased with this. Sometimes things come very easily, like this piece did. You know, early on when I would write a project that was for myself, sometimes I put too much pressure on it to be the greatest melody or the greatest chord progression I ever wrote. And that would just kind of clamp down on me and shut down that creative process. But by lifting that pressure, it just allows the music to flow. You can always refine things later. Next time we come back, I'll orchestrate this and we'll take a look at that. I just want to say thanks to everyone for following along, and I'll see y'all next time.